Hi there, and welcome back to the HQ. Today, we are going to be reacting to which Punch-Out boxer is the biggest cheater to The Rumble in the Jungle by Bumble McFumbles. Last time we watched this, the first one, it was pretty evident that Aaron Ryan was the biggest cheater by a wide margin. I don't know how they're going to possibly top that. But considering a certain tie-wearing gorilla is in the thumbnail, I got a feeling they're gonna find a way how. Let's just jump in and see how badly it gets. Because I don't see how they're beating Aaron Ryan. Back in the ring, baby.
Time for the easiest pun of my career. It's time for round two, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah,
the
baby.
response
Ding,
to the
ding,
Punch-Out video has
ding.
blown me away would be an insult to blowing. At time of recording, the video has cracked 1 million views and still climbing.
Dang.
Not only has the video had a big effect on me as a creator,
That's
it's
great.
apparently also had an effect
Congrats.
on the Punch-Out fandom.
Oh.
Seriously, if you check out the Punch-Out wiki now, every fighter that I covered has a section about the rules they've broken. I wondered if this was because of me, but then I saw that they used the word infraction and knew it was me.
Wow. He had such an impact on the Punch-Out community that the entire wiki has entire sections dedicated to it. That is amazing. I wish I could have that kind of impact on some kind of community. Like, the good kind, though. Not the kind of, like, the allegations kind of impact. I don't want that kind of impact. I want the funny kind.
I used that word about 100 trillion times in the last one, so it couldn't be anyone else.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
today we're
definitely.
changing some hearts, minds, and most importantly, Wikipedia articles, because we're stepping back into the squared circle to take a look at more of Punch-Out's boxers, to see what exactly they're doing to try and one-up the current reigning and defending champion, Aaron Ryan. It's going to be a
They're
long
not gonna
road,
beat
certainly,
Aaron
but
Ryan.
the fighters we
That's
have
for
lined
sure.
up
Oh.
look like they're more than good enough competition, including one person who I seem to have forgotten in the last video, so
Are we going to other Punch-Out games? Are we stepping away from the Wii game?
can't seem to place my finger on who exactly. So to start off, I feel it's important to quell or address points brought up by others about the past video. First and most commonly was Great Tiger's head covering being a religious headpiece and therefore protected. And
Okay, yeah, I did make that point. I did make that point in the last one, actually. That being a Punjabi man, I don't know, like, I assume he's of Hindu religion, that the turban could be interpreted as a religious symbol, and therefore he doesn't have to take it off.
they'd be right to say as such. A turban is often worn by Shia Muslims, and with the rules regarding
yeah.
women's boxers
Shia
wearing
Muslim,
full-body
yeah.
coverings and hijabs, I'm willing to let Great Tiger go on this one.
Yeah.
It's not like he doesn't have 8 other rules he's breaking. He's
Oh,
not gonna be
yeah.
hurting the
I mean,
losing
it's not
one.
like he's just
I
doing
wouldn't wanna
magic.
make a ruling that God himself wouldn't agree with me on. Another common one was the use of a backhanded strike in the ring. It is indeed illegal to backhand, as well as illegal to attack with an ear-clapping move. For that reason, we're adding a few more infractions.
Okay.
King Hippo claps the ears in both his Hippo Squash and Squash and Slam.
Oh.
Bear Hugger's Bear Hug is quite literally just an ear clap. Great
Yeah.
Tiger smacks you with the side of his hands when he does the Mirage Dance. As
Okay,
well, Don
yeah.
Flamenco gets one for his backhanded slap.
Oh, yeah.
It was also brought
Lots
up
of
that Mr.
backhands.
Sandman did have an infraction, as he uses an overhand punch in his fight. Actually,
I mean-
not only are overhand punches legal, but they're an important part of boxing, only to be used when you have a height advantage over your opponent.
Yeah.
Everybody has a height advantage over you.
Yeah, Little Mac is like 5'5". The only way Little Mac is not going to have a height advantage, and like the only way Little Mac is going to have a height advantage in a boxing match is if he's boxing a bunch of middle schoolers. Like, for real. Like, that's the only way.
So Mr. Sandman's punch is clean. It's illegal, however, to hit your opponent with the side of your hand, which is exactly what I'd call these. So that's 1 extra point for Von Kaiser, 3 for Hippo, 1 for Bear Hugger, 2
Jeez.
Great Tiger, 1 for Don Flamenco, and 1 more for Super Macho Man. Still putting none of them within spitting distance of Aaron, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what the new crop of fighters is for.
Aaron is absolutely in a league of his own.
Except, not all fighters are created equal. See, as much as it pains me, a lot of these fighters don't do anything wrong. Kid Quick, Piston Hurricane, Mr. Dream, Mike Tyson, and Pizza Pasta are all too boring to be considered for the list, since they're just box standard boxers.
Yeah, just box standard boxers like Mike Tyson, the greatest boxer to ever live.
I know pizza pasta is someone that a lot of people wanted me to talk about, but trust me, the only
Pizza
interesting thing about him is his
pasta.
name. Also, if I start judging real-world boxer Mike Tyson, I'm afraid he's gonna come to my house and perform amateur brain surgery on me with his fists.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. I eat children!
Other than those guys, everyone else from the arcade games and
Oh
the NES
my
game has already been
God.
covered, meaning that now all that's left,
Besides him.
is
Oh.
Super Punch-Out! Categorically nobody's favorite Punch-Out game. Something to get out of the way is that almost every fighter has their coach shouting instructions to them in the ring, ranging from "Punch good!" to "Here's a knife, get him!" I'll be including any egregious examples of outside coaching in their score. The first boxer in which being Glass Joe's protege, Gabby J.
Thank you for the follow, Black Forge Nexus. Welcome to the HQ. Thank you for the follow as well, Aaron Hamir. Welcome to the HQ.
Just like Joe, he seems too pathetic to be hiding any nefarious tactics, and in all fairness, he isn't.
God,
He's
he looks
wearing
like
his
a
cheating
fossil.
all over his body.
Oh?
See, in boxing, to avoid watching two grandpas fight like a blown call at a Little League game, there are age limits on when you can box up until. Most major organizations
As someone who grew up in the like the Little League system, because my dad, for like 5-6 years, my dad was the president of the local Little League in my hometown growing up for like 6 years. And then my little brother, at like the age of like 19, became the president of the Little League after him. He won the vote to become the president of the Little League. And it was admittedly for himself the worst mistake of his life, because that Little League is ran by like absolute, like it is awful. I don't even know if it's still running, honestly. But yeah, as someone who grew up surrounded by like activities at the Little League, I can get it. I can understand it. Also, thank you for joining the Discord. As you all know, there's a link down there in the YouTube, well, in the description, and towards down there, there is a link to the PackRat Discord. Or if you just type this in, as seen on screen, !Discord, you get a lovely little link that takes you straight to the PackRat HQ.
place that somewhere around 40. After that, you leave any age bracket created and can't fight at such a high level.
Also,
Gabby
yeah.
J is 16 years on from when his last fight should have been. 16 years
Yeah,
of fighting past
this-
your prime. Only
this
ever
old
losing,
man
along with the
should
ravages of
not
time, mean that Gabby
have
J will
been
be lucky if he ever
in the
walks
boxing
again.
ring.
This man is trying to speedrun dementia like he's playing everywhere
56. This dude is 56 years old, and he's in the boxing ring.
at the end of time at 20 times speed. Other than that, he's fine, but somebody needs to trank this geezer before he tries to come out to the ring with an oxygen tank. After the skippable bear hugger, piston hurricane, and
Oh.
bald bull, it's time to infringe on some copyright with Bob Charlie. Just do as little as possible.
Bob Charlie. Also, yeah, I love having people join my cute rat Discord server.
To hide it. He's the best kind of distinct. Legally. So as you can very clearly see, he's got a headband, and what's good for the Honda is good for the Charlie.
Yep.
He's already got one infraction.
Yep, no head coverings.
Notice that since his hair is so long, he's at risk of blinding himself and potentially getting it ripped out from the roots.
Oh,
Overall, that leaves Charlie with 2 different rule breaks. I'm counting the hair
so hair and head covering, that's it. So
as one,
we're off
since
to
I
a
doubt
pretty
they'd let him fight
decent
like that for his
start.
own safety. Also, copyright infringement isn't counted since they're not gonna have court proceedings in the ring, so it's outside my jurisdiction.
Yeah, this isn't
Moving on to play
WWE.
possibly the most famous cheat and punch out, Dragon Chan
Oh.
is most famous for being the example I brought up last time to bring up how much cheating there is.
Oh.
So let's get it out of the way.
Okay.
First off, jumping is technically not illegal. It's dumb as hell, but it's not illegal. However, jumping
Yeah.
onto the ropes
Oh,
is
yeah.
super illegal.
That is-
I don't need to tell you that.
Obviously.
Then there's the kick itself.
That says WWE.
Kickboxing exists, and even there you can't do this. This
Yeah,
might as
you
well be the
can't
most
do
blatant
like
foul thus far
Karate Kid
because-
shit in the ring.
Yeah, you obviously can't kick in a boxing match. That's the whole point.
Obviously.
On top of that, he performs the kick in 2 unique instances. Once by simply kicking, and then by
Oh.
doing his jump kick. But not just the kick is illegal, though, as his pants reach down below his knees, his shoes aren't regulation boxing boots, and while the belt does provide a line of demarcation, it in and of itself is an unnecessary accessory and is therefore illegal.
Okay, so kick, jump kick, and non-regulation clothing. Okay.
Given the fact that he has experience as a kickboxer, the question has to be asked why he felt the need to drop the kick part and try straight-up boxing. Up
Yeah.
next is the boxer I was most excited to cover when we got the
Oh.
Super Punch-Out, and that's Masked Muscle.
Okay.
Luchador from
So,
Mexico.
head
He's the second
covering,
boxer thus far to
obviously.
bring an outside fighting style to boxing. And this one is even less of a fit than the last one. At least
Yeah.
that one had the word boxing in the title.
Why would you just jump into boxing as a wrestler? Why? It's like stay in luchador wrestling.
Pro wrestling is about as far from boxing as you can get.
Yeah.
So before we get to his moves, I don't actually know what to do about one of his infractions. See, his mask
Is he
obviously
using, like,
head
the
cover, and
mist?
his wrestling tights extend into his boots, and then there are his knee pads. Technically, he's already covering his knees with his tights, but man, it feels like this is even more of a cheat than usual.
That is
I'm willing to
additional
count this as doubling
protection.
up. Like the ref would ask them to take off his knee pads, see the pants underneath, and just give up.
Yeah.
Also, I'm willing to bet that his boots aren't boxing boots, but wrestling boots. See, wrestling boots are designed for the more dogged and flexible style of wrestling, rather
Oh my god. Oh my god, I fucking forgot about this bit. The fucking conga line of wrestlers shoving the thumb up each other's asses and then doing like an 8-person like fucking like an 8-person fucking like
than the
flip
stance-based combat of
on
boxing.
each other.
And as such, by using wrestling boots, he has a better range of motion than other boxers. On top of that, those tights he's wearing have
Oh
no clear
my
line of
God.
demarcation for the waist, and as such are another illegal part.
God, I love
He
wrestling
also spits
so
in your eyes
much.
and headbutts you. However,
I love
this is
wrestling.
no ordinary spit.
Oh.
As was common in Japanese wrestling, I'd say
Fucking
that this
mist.
is closer to dokugiri
Oh,
or
yeah.
poison mist. Yeah, in Japan, sometimes they just breathe poison onto each other when they're wrestling.
Yep.
One of the Japanese
Japanese
equivalents to
wrestling
Hulk
is
Hogan,
great.
Keiji Muto, used it whenever he warped into his demon alter
Great
ego, the
Muta.
Great Muta. Also, the color gave it different elemental properties. Green was poison, red was burning, black was blinding. Man, wrestling's way cooler than boxing. What am I doing?
Absolutely. Wrestling is so fucking cool. I love wrestling so much. I need to get back into watching wrestling at some point. I need to watch, like, I know Raw is on Netflix, and I have a Netflix subscription, so maybe I'll just start watching Raw on Mondays. I don't know.
So, yeah, if this actually is poison mist, the blue coloring would give it the blinding effect. See, when you spit into somebody's eyes, they don't see in mode 7.
Yeah.
So that's a rule break for the spitting, bringing in a foreign substance, and by using that foreign substance. Then there's the headbutt, which seems almost pedantic given what we just discussed. All things considered,
Yeah,
and
like,
including the
this
fact that
dude
his
is
coach
using,
tells him to
like-
spit in your eyes,
Yeah, this
that
dude
gives
is,
masked
like,
muscle 9
using great
infractions.
Muta and
Still dwarfed
type
by Ryan,
stuff.
but an admirable effort nonetheless.
Yeah.
Up next is
He's back! He's back!
Anyway,
What is that
we've come to meet
fucking
Aaron Ryan on his
haircut?
home turf, and what the? No headbutts, no elbows, no
Huh?
boxing gloves on string. I don't believe it, but Aaron Ryan isn't cheating. All of his moves, all of his movements, everything is perfectly up to board. But
Aaron Ryan? Not being a cheater? Not being a filthy douche? Not a dirtbag? He is actually boxing. He is actually boxing to the rules of boxing. That is. I don't know. I don't know if I can accept that. I don't know if I can believe that. That is something I cannot accept. Yeah, this is like, I can only expect that this is before he started losing so bad he needed to cheat. Also, God, a WWE Dynasty Warriors crossover game would go so hard. Lean into the wackier elements of kayfabe and just play it out like that. I still want a Sonic Muso game so bad, like a Sonic Dynasty Warriors game. I have like that's like my pie in the sky dream. Is a Sonic Muso game made in collaboration with the same teams that did like the Hyrule Warriors games, because those are some of my favorite ones, because like a lot of the more recent Warriors games is not the Hyrule Warriors, but Dynasty Warriors are kind of ass. Like when the time they tried to make an open world Dynasty Warriors game and also took away all the unique weapons and stuff. Not fun. But yeah, a Sonic Muso game is my pie in the sky dream, and I want it to happen. I know that you do too, Ian Flynn. I've heard it on your podcast on a number of occasions that you would love a Sonic Muso game. You have more influence than I do. Please make it happen.
Maybe you could get him on grabbing Little Mac, right? Well, no,
No,
that's a clinch. It's a common move in boxing. It's the
Wow.
reason that Mayweather versus Pacquiao is one of the worst fights ever. I genuinely never thought I'd say this, but Aaron's clean.
Wow.
This makes you have to ask, though, what in the hell happened between this game and we to turn into a headbutt murdering psychopath?
Yeah, what happened to
grudge do the
Aaron
Canadians and
Ryan?
The Irish have.
What happened?
Kagero is next, and with him are a couple of really weird rules.
Who is this cowboy bebop looking motherfucker here? Huh?
First and foremost is his face paint.
Yeah.
Kind of weird,
Face
I know,
paint,
but for the same
hair.
reason you can't have perfume with Don Flamenco, that face paint
And
would be a
also,
grease
you know,
face
the
paint,
Mirage
and as such would
dance,
make it easier for
apparently.
blood to slip off his face. Speaking of his face, let's talk about what's on top of it. It's clear
Oh,
that
yeah.
Hickey's proud of his hair, despite graying at 19.
He's
it's even longer
19?
than Bob Charlie's, and as a result, it's much more likely to be told off by the ref
God
that he either
damn,
needs to
dog.
cut it or get into some sort of braid. If not by just seeing it, the ref will definitely be getting the cutting shears when he sees him use his hair as a whip to smack Little Mac in the face.
Jesus. Also, hi there. Hi there, Ornix. Welcome to the chat.
Once again taken from pro wrestling. So he's literally using a part of his body as a foreign object.
Yep.
While long
That-
hair in
it
and of
looks
itself
like
isn't
it.
exactly
Like,
illegal,
Jesus.
this would certainly set the precedent that it is. Other than that, all's going good except for, oh yeah, the teleporting. Now,
Yeah, I was about to say, you're very much ignoring the fact that he totally swiped. The fact that he just absolutely stole the Mirage dance here from Great Tiger.
you may be tempted to say that this is just fancy footwork with the fact that he's a dancer. Well, let me tell you, this is fancy footwork, this is teleportation. I'm
Yeah,
an
he's
experienced
using
magic
magic.
critic now thanks to Great Tiger, and let me tell you something, this is a classic case of teleportation. He even calls it a Mirage dance too, he was an inspiration. That leaves Hiki with
Yeah,
four
I guess
infractions.
he
Mad
has
Clown is
the
next,
Great
and he thought
Tiger.
Masked Muscle was bad, wait till you get a load of this bad
oh.
boy. From the bottom to the
Oh.
top, he swapped his wrestling boots for clown shoes, wears overalls that don't show a clear line of demarcation and cover the knees, and is wearing a shirt which, while not illegal in an amateur fight, would be in a World Circuit fight, which,
Yeah, so
yeah, I probably should have gotten Mac on for last time, but his choice of tank top and not eye-melting blue and white t-shirt is what saved him there.
yep. You know, not to mention the makeup and the fact that he's dressed like a goddamn clown. Like, goddamn. I love how in the original like Punch Out, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the NES, it's all just a lot of straight boxers that don't have a lot of like wacky shit to them. But then you get the Super Punch Out, and you have like this guy dressed as a clown. You got Bear Hugger. Like all of these wacky ass characters in Super Punch Out compared to the original.
Metal buckles and buttons on his overall as well are a major no-no. Also, and I only realized this after the fight started, but his ham-shaped head is obscuring a bow tie. How cute! That's illegal. Then
Illegal bow tie. For clowns, for me, it kind of varies because it's like some clowns are nice, and also other clowns like Lollipop VT, a lovely VTuber clown girl who's mutuals with me that I would love to hang out with sometime. But yeah, Mad Clown is just what he sounds like. He is a mad clown.
there's his face, and he's got two different types of face covering. As we previously covered, you can't have face paint, and
Yeah.
his is even more
He
noticeable
has
than
the face
Hiki's,
paint,
given the fact that he is
and he has
indeed
the
a
nose,
clown. But that
which
red
could
nose
act
of his
as-
is in
oh,
no
yeah.
way naturally occurring, and is definitely a way of covering the nose when getting punched.
Yeah,
which I
100% a
don't need to tell you,
cushion.
hurts like hell. Now,
Absolutely a
as for his
cushion.
in-ring actions, it's more of the standard cheats like going for an express ear clap, throwing the opponent out of a clinch, trying to chop the opponent with the side of your hand, all the fun of the fair. Then
All
there's his
kinds of
big
fun.
one. He'll flip backwards into the air and then land on his knee. In boxing, taking a knee is considered down. And as
How
such,
did a
he's
man
one
his
step
size
closer
do
to
a flip?
TKO. Then there's a small matter of him throwing balls at your face. Those balls are absolutely not regulation. And add on to that, since they weren't inspected by the ref, they could
He just starts a fucking juggling act in the middle of the ring. What the hell? Okay.
be filled with concrete for all we know. And he brought 6 of them into the ring. That's 6 different counts of a foreign weapon. And then there's the fact that he actually throws them. Remember, difference between intent to cheat and actually doing it. With all that, Clown comes
my
out
God.
to 17 infractions, which puts
Banned.
him just too shy of Aaron Ryan.
Wow.
And really, that's only because of how many balls he
He's
brings
that
into the
close
ring.
to Aaron
Down to
Ryan.
1, and he's only got 13. Still the best
Wow.
performance thus far. Great job, Mad Clown. Never come back. Narcissus Prince comes next, and I almost want to dock him off the bat for being a literal drooling moron. The guy doesn't want people to punch him in the face, so became a boxer. Oh, I have the best legs in the world. That's why I work as a landmine tester.
Why
so from his
would
attire,
you?
can see a few problems.
Why?
The big one being his Ivy League vest.
Obviously.
Not only is such upper body wear illegal, but there's a second shirt underneath.
Yeah,
Shirts
that's
are
obvious
already
covering.
hard to judge, but 2 shirts is definitely illegal.
Yeah, that's definitely
Next are his
cushioning.
boxing trunks. Those bad boys need to be open and free, but these ones are practically skin tight. But then there
Yeah,
are his
that's
boots, or
also
rather
another
the
good
lack
point.
thereof. His shoe choices
He's
are a
wearing
fresh pair of
fucking-
sneakers, which, while stylish,
wearing tennis
doesn't
shoes.
cut. However, outside of how he dresses, he actually managed to keep it clean in the ring. So good for you, Narcissus. I put this mostly down to the fact that he's so young that he
Narcissus Prince. Shirts, whack. Pants, whack. Shoes, whack.
hasn't had a chance to figure out how best to cheat. Unlike our next competitor, Hoy Corlow. You thought
Who-
Gabby J
oh.
was over the hill? Hoy here is 78 years old.
Who let their granddad in the ring? With his fucking walking stick.
Gabby was only 56. If 40 is the age that you should stop boxing at, Hoy is
See, like, this is what I say when Super Punch-Out has far more wacky a character than the original Punch-Out. Because it's like, the wackiest character I can think of in, like, the original Punch-Out is, like, Super Macho Man or Soda Popinski. Because of, like, their little quirks. This is just a straight-up, like Chinese granddad. Why did they get so wacky in Super Punch-Out?
been going on 38 years past his sell-by date. On top of his age, his weight is extremely distressing. The man is only 100 pounds.
Huh?
Don't fight him, just fucking pick him up and toss him.
Give that
Then there's
man
his
a
clothing.
burger.
Baggy shirt, long pants, and slippers means he's broken 4 rules already. I'm also willing to say that his facial hair is way too long to be considered kosher. Then there's his fighting style.
Okay, yeah, it just made me remember the fact that King Hippo is in fact in the original Punch-Out. I just realized that. Yeah, King Hippo is definitely the strangest person in the whole early Punch-Out. But it's like, he was the outlier here. With this, you have this dude, you got Bear Hugger, you got the clown, you got the fucking guy with, like, the Sephiroth hair. It's all a bunch of really wacky characters.
Gotta say, can't find anything wrong here. Okay, so bringing a staff into the ring is ridiculous. He's not even trying to hide it. At least Aaron had the decency to hide his flail down his pants. So Hoy not only brings his staff into the ring to hit you with, but he also throws kicks. But at
Once
least his
more,
punches are
illegal
good,
kicks.
Right? Wrong, because the only punch he throws is this one. And this is
Oh,
not
it's
a
an
punch.
open
This is an
palm.
open palm strike, which you
It's an
can't
open
do.
palm strike.
But he
What
attempts
the
to backhand
hell?
you with a spin fist, which you can't do.
No,
Also, if
he
jumping
is
was
not
illegally
boxing,
worth about
he is
10
just
Aaron Ryans.
fighting.
Despite how much people swore by Hoy dwarfing Aaron, he only gets 11. Not even the highest score in this game. Finally are the Brothers Bruiser, Rick and Nick. The most boring way to finish out a game. 2 bald-headed white guys. Oh boy, Rick Bruiser sure was a boring penultimate boss. I wonder what's next. Ooh! So let's go over shared instances of these actual palette swaps before getting into anything unique.
They are literally
First off,
just
despite
palette
being the 2
swaps
top-ranked
disguised
bosses
as
in the
twin
entire world,
brothers.
or the entire special, I guess, neither Rick nor Nick have a definitive place of origin or age. Seeing as King Hippo had the same problem, it's safe to assume that despite their prestigious position,
Okay, like King Hippo I can understand because he's like a literal cartoon character. But these guys are just like generic, like they're very clearly based off of the big Russian guy from the end of Rocky 4. I think it's Rocky 4, whichever Rocky, because I have never watched Rocky in my life. But like the big Russian, I know enough to know that like big Russian guy from the end of Rocky. And clearly they're based off him. So why not just make them Russian? Why are they from parts unknown? Like, why? Like, parts unknown makes sense for a guy like King Hippo, who's clearly like an island, like, cartoon character.
they don't even have a proper boxing license. Going into the fight, and honestly, they both fight the exact same, so the only main problem comes from them both using illegal elbows. Rick has both
again,
a jumping
take that
and
shit to
grounded version,
WWE.
while Nick only uses the jumping version. Not only is an elbow an illegal move, but a jumping attack is also illegal. All this time I said jumps are allowed, never included jump attacks.
Yeah, you
That's
can
the
jump
illegal
around.
part. So that would
You
land
just
Rick
can't
with 2 as
attack
he
with the
gets grounded
jumps.
in aerial forms,
You
while
can't
Nick
like
only gets
Superman
1.
punch somebody in a
But
boxing
Rick
ring.
still does have 1 trick left up his sleeve. He's wearing earrings.
Oh,
Just like Super Macho
yes, he
Man,
is.
he needs to take those out before he fights, and as such lands him with 4 infractions to Brother Nick's 2.
Huh.
For once, the little brother wins.
Wow.
And that rounds out Super Punch-Out. And with that, the video's over, right?
It's over?
Except no. No, it couldn't be over. Of course.
Hi there, Textalgia. I've been having a good day. I'm probably gonna bow out after this video and just get some rest, but I'm having a good day so far.
People were asking for Super Punch-Out, but what 10 times as many people were asking about was for one King of Kongs. So let's bite the bullet. Let's talk about Donkey Kong.
Let's. The big King of Kong.
Now, I know I've taken a controversial stance on Donkey Kong in the past, calling him a cartoon character for babies, and sure, I may have proof of that in the form of this cartoon for babies, but I'm first and foremost a man of the people.
Oh my god.
So if the people really want me to talk about it.
I used to own a VHS of this cartoon. And the only memory I have of watching it is watching it on repeat for 6 hours straight on a car ride to Florida. Or it wasn't even 6 hours straight. It was closer to like 20 hours. Because it was a ride all the way to Florida. We went from where I live to Florida. And we were going to vacation for like 2 weeks. We were going to Disney World and going to the beach. And it was fun. I was like 9, 10 years old. It was a really fun trip. But the only memories I have of this, cartoon is like 3 or 4 episodes I watched as a kid in Florida and in the car. Also, another fun fact, actually, I don't know if he's going to get into it about this game specifically, but originally, the Nintendo special guest character in Punch-Out on Wii was not going to be Donkey Kong. It was going to be Princess Peach. But they didn't want Little Mac beating up on Princess Peach, so they changed it to Donkey Kong instead. Which it would have been really interesting to see Princess Peach out there in like a pair of boxing gloves and like boxing shorts out there. That would be really interesting to see.
And by golly, it's my duty to do it. So let's start from the top. We all know where Donkey Kong lives. He lives on Congo Bongo, as the cartoon explains. However, a group that has no idea where he comes from is the WVBA, as they don't know his birthplace, weight, or height. That means no weigh-in and no boxing license.
Why don't they just insert like DK Island? Like DK Island, clearly. And just give him like the standard height and weight of a gorilla. Also, yeah, Peach can absolutely throw hands. She can swing, dog.
I also want to quell the rumors that this fight couldn't take place due to animal cruelty. Donkey Kong is an animal that can talk and think for himself, and it's to be assumed that Donkey Kong gave consent.
Yeah, we're doing this joke again.
Oh my god!
Starting off, you might be tempted to say
God.
that these barrels and bananas
The
count
joke?
as outside objects, and
The joke in that first one, when they did that, fucking killed me.
you'd be wrong. These fall under the banner of entrance theatrics. If Deontay Wilder can come out dressed as Rhinestone Skeletor for his fight with Tyson Fury, then Donkey Kong can roll out a barrel or two. Before we throw a punch, though, we got a laundry list of things to go over first. First things first, we can see that he has personal branding on his gloves and tie.
Yeah.
Second, there's no clear line of demarcation between his waist and below the belt created by his boxing shorts. Next, his shorts don't extend above the knees.
Yeah.
Also, he's not wearing boxing shorts.
My
On
man
top
is
of that,
just
he's not wearing any
freeballing.
boots. The tie counts as an accessory. And seeing as we don't know where Donkey Kong comes from and that he's using personalized gloves, it can be assumed that the ref hasn't checked him and that he didn't wrap his fists properly.
He is
Donkey Kong is beating most
freeballing.
people in the game without ever throwing a punch.
Yeah.
Thing 2, as all of his attacks are illegal. First off
Oh.
is his slam attack. That's an overhead club with the side of the
DK
glove. So
Slammer.
that's 2 for that.
Oh, the
Then
little
there's his body clap, which,
blinky.
since his gloves are the size of Little Mac, would result in an ear clap. That
Yeah.
clap is also being done with the inside of
Absolutely.
his gloves. His jumping slam is a jump strike, which isn't allowed, and it doesn't take a genius to see that his taunting pass is
Jesus.
excessive and into unsportsmanlike. When he rolls on the ground, he's
He's
officially
just
down since his
dancing.
knees make contact with the floor. And then he throws a massive backhand. Then in the corner, he's seen
Holy
munching on a
hell.
banana, which is illegal. You can't eat in the corner. Not that you'd want to, because imagine
Oh.
eating food then going out to fight. You may also
Oh,
ask if
no.
kidnapping Mac at the end of the fight counts as a rule break. Listen, once the bell rings, they can do whatever they want. You know, it's not my problem. No
He just fucking kidnaps him. He just like, oh, this is mine now. Yoink. He just kidnapped him. Dog.
rules saying that you don't own the loser. Overall, that leaves Donkey Kong with an unbelievable
You
19
don't own-
infractions. And
you
in a shocking
don't own the
upset,
loser,
ties him
huh?
with our current champion, Aaron Ryan. It looks like the fairy tale dream of
Wow.
Ryan has finally come to an end.
Aaron
as he took
Ryan
a literal
tied
wild animal
with
without an
Donkey
understanding of how to
Kong.
box to tie him. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't have seen it coming, but what if I told you that, as several people pointed out, Aaron has one last trick up his sleeve?
Huh?
In contender mode, if you lose against him, Ryan will headbutt the camera. Assuming that the camera is meant to be a WVBA cameraman,
Oh.
that means that Ryan will have destroyed WVBA property and has broken one more rule, rounding him up to an even 20.
Huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, and still WVBA Cheaters champion, Aaron Ryan. All right, boys, got a visual. Fire!
Fucking rip Aaron Ryan.
You know, instead of ending one of these with a gag, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Everyone who watched the last one of these helped support me through incredibly selfless donations and just made the impossible seem possible. You've impacted my life in a way that I'd completely written off. I can only hope that my stupid video helps your
that's
day
really
by making it
heartwarming.
just a
I
little
love
bit better by
that.
being funny. And all I can hope is that the rest of these are just as fun as this one.
Absolutely,
And to finish
I
this one
loved
off in the
it.
spirit of the first one, with all these new rule breakers on the scene, I think this redesign of Mac is a little outdated.
Oh.
Much better.
So that was the second edition of Cheating in Punch-Out. To think, we all thought that Donkey Kong was gonna dethrone Aaron Ryan, but nope, Aaron Ryan had one more trick up his sleeve, and he clinched the win just again. Oh boy, and so many other wacky characters in Punch-Out. Who is your favorite character in Punch-Out? Who's your favorite fighter? Who is your favorite character? Who would you want to see as a guest character in a Punch-Out-esque game? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you know when I upload and it helps me out in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.